He talks a very tough game about China. There is one guy who really does like TikTok.
We're looking at TikTok. We have some very big news on TikTok.
I'm on TikTok now. I know a lot about TikTok. I'm now a big star on TikTok. We'll take a look at TikTok.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok.
We're not doing anything with TikTok. Joe Biden is responsible for banning TikTok. If people want to save TikTok, they have to vote for me.
I could have banned TikTok.
I'm the one that says we should save TikTok. 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 Kid Rock.
No, wait, no, that's unrelated. It has nothing.
He's so good. So, I don't know, I'll leave it to you to decide whether he wants to ban TikTok or save it. Trump doesn't have long left to make up his mind because today the Supreme Court gave the green light to a law that could ban the Chinese-owned social media site. For its 170 million users here in the United States, that ban goes into place Sunday. That was the point of the legislation anyway, but at this late hour, there's still a great deal of mystery. Remember, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have accused TikTok's China-based parent company, ByteDance, of stealing American user data and manipulating what people see on the video sharing app to be decidedly more pro-China. TikTok has denied all of this, but this afternoon, there's an open question as to whether or not the law will actually be enforced. President Biden, who will still be president on Sunday, is treating the issue like a hot potato, handing the decision off to Donald Trump, who takes office Monday. Now consider that we know Trump says he talked about TikTok with Chinese President Xi today. We know Trump's at least considered an executive order designed to save his now beloved TikTok. And we know TikTok's CEO is expected to attend Donald Trump's inauguration Monday. And if you're wondering why Trump is suddenly such a fan, just consider that earlier this month, Trump himself, in the course of sharing enormous viewership data from his TikTok accounts, asked, quote, why would I want to get rid of TikTok? Joining our conversation, MSNBC political analyst Tim Miller's here. He's a former RNC spokesman, now host of the Bulwark podcast. Alicia and Rever here. So again, why would I want to get rid of TikTok? Here's your own Secretary of State and National Security Advisor telling you why.
I want to ban TikTok for a very simple reason. They allow the Chinese Communist Party to gain access to all of the private data on any device in America that's using TikTok. That's our kids, that's phones connected to our kids' phones. And that's a national security threat, but it's a direct threat to our way of life, our economics. It's allowed them to interfere in the midterm elections. This company should be banned. I don't know why they're allowed to operate in the United States.
The debate I keep having with members of my family is I'm telling them, get off, and other folks in my network. It is a vacuum cleaner of every password, your financial information, anything on Signal or WhatsApp or any private communication you're having. They're collecting it by the millions.
So I guess for Trump, that's the why, but he's Trump, and so I'm not sure that that is going to be the judgment that rules the day. Tim Miller.
Yeah, well, after watching that montage of the start, I'm going to need a cocktail after I get off the air here, Nicole. So thank you for that. That was a little too much Trump for me today. It's time. It's okay. It's 3:40 Central. Here's the thing about Trump. All right. And this is important to kind of frame this up for this TikTok situation, but everything over the next 100 days and 4 years. Trump basically cares about four things: immigration, particularly deporting people that he thinks that are not from Scandinavian countries. That was, obviously the motivating thing of his initial campaign all the way back to 2016. The tariffs, he's obsessed with tariffs. He thinks they're magical. It's his favorite word. He likes tariffs. So those are the two policy issues he cares about: immigration and tariffs. He also cares about the people that are mean to him being sad, owning the libs, if you will. And he also cares about people being nice to him and flattering him or giving him money. That's it. So if you're trying to understand like what Trump is going to do, you can just think about those 4 things and think, well, where does this fall? It's not an immigration issue. It's not a tariff issue. It's not going to make the Democrats sad if he bans it, because most of them voted for the ban. And so the question is, can the TikTok people flatter him enough to put spokes in the wheels of this effort that has already passed overwhelmingly in Congress and was unanimously affirmed by the Supreme Court? I suspect yes. And that's why the TikTok CEO is going to be at the inauguration. That's why Jeff Yass, who's a big investor, gave money to Trump's campaign. That's why they're out there putting up, little graphics there of all the people that watch him on TikTok. So, I think that's what it's going to come down to, is does he feel like he's getting enough flattery or cash to intervene?
Yeah, so when you said 4, I made a list, and let me see how our lists match up. I wrote deportations, his press coverage, his wealth, the economy, and retribution. And I want to just follow up with you on his wealth. I think Trump has also made clear, and yesterday we had all of the, tech bros up who were tightwads in 16 and 20 who are now gushing millions of dollars to Trump's inauguration. Trump has projected that the presidency is for sale. What does that mean for TikTok?
I think it's good news for TikTok. It's better to have a president that thinks that their platform is for sale than one that's going to stand on principle or care about national security. And so, look, if you look at that list that we had, I guess you were just slightly nicer to him by saying he cares about the economy. And I said only about tariffs. So maybe we can say maybe he cares about the economy broadly. At least he doesn't want it to crash, probably, because then he thinks it would look bad for him. But that all ladders back up to this question about himself, right? Like his image, flattering him or paying him. And look, there was a story that got lost in all of the hearings this week. Pam Bondi, who was nominated for Attorney General, she has invested like $3 million, $3+ million in Trump's totally worthless social media platform that nobody's on except for Trump, it's making no money and has no real value. And she got nominated to be Attorney General. Is there a direct thing there? I'm not saying that there is or accusing it of it. I'm just saying that this is so different from 2016 in just how open they are to these contributions from these big tech giants and other CEOs who are putting money in the inaugural fund and into his PAC, and also for investments, because now he has a private company and he has a crypto coin that people can invest in. And then he's got all of his hotels that people can stay at. And there's so many ways that you could contribute to Trump Inc. broadly now that is something that is definitely going to be a factor on issues such as this.